Good morning, Fractal Effects team. Before you get started, please make sure you read the disclosure in the description of our YouTube channel or in the footer of fractaleffects.com. If you're following along with us today, make sure you do in a demo account, as this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. So US 30 is the only one that's actually given us anything right now. We have a double break to the downside, and we're looking for a 1M fair value gap to take it all the way into this first presented fair value gap, maybe even lower into this blue zone, but this is our low-hanging fruit target. Let's see if there's enough room there. This is going to be a quick move, but I do want to see at least a 1-minute fair value gap created. That's where we're at right now. We're just waiting for some last-minute confluence. Otherwise, I could dig in deeper into this fair value gap up here, marked off with the aqua. Right now we're just taking it one step at a time. But NAS and US 500 have not broken the manipulation range. They have not given us a break in either direction yet. We do have a buy model. All London obligations have been met, and we have swept all-time highs. So this is where a reversal could happen. Right here, this green line, all-time highs, we swept it. Now it looks like it's setting up to go short, possibly right into this 15-minute fair value gap, or to the blue zone of the end dog right now. Today, there is no high-impact news driver. Usually on days where there is no news, the market likes to revert back to fair value, which is the new day opening gap, or true day open gap, right? Or sorry, the true day open right there, that line. But again, we got to wait for all the confluence here. 24 seconds left. Right now, it has not left us any kind of room for entry, no foothold. So this looks like could be our fair value gap. But I want to see it stay open 30 seconds. I want to see it come back and tap and not just run off. Follow the rules to the T. Get rid of this fair value gap for now. That's what I want to see it tap. Give us an expansion met with expansion. Engulfing candle. And look for an entry potentially in this area. This is the only day that's Monday and Tuesday is the only day you want to actually trade when you have this much news. There's a lot of news this week. Fed Chair Powell speaking, non-farm payroll, I believe. So it's already hit our low-hanging fruit target, unfortunately. That's what I was looking for. But I want to see what happens up here. If it comes back in and taps this area, then I'd be interested to possibly take it into the blue zone. US 500 has hit the new day opening gap as well. NAS just gesticulating right here, right at this purple zone in between this fair value gap and this purple zone. US 30 was the one we were looking at. Right now it's a bit of a runaway. Created all these footholds, but it hasn't actually given us an entry. So continuing to drop. We jump back up to the 5 minute. There goes US 500, also back down to the blue zone. True day open right here. That's what it's reverting back to. So when it runs off like this, usually what happens is we could get a deeper retracement back into this zone. But at this point, I'm just going to wait for a spotlight confirmation now. Spotlight confirmation, retracement, and then an extension. Here's our first break from US 500. So we do have a London obligation down here that never got met. I'm going to use this as my draw on liquidity. This is the area I'd like to see US 500 come back into. But right now we just have a break. Sorry, let me just outline this one fair value gap. So this is the leg that gave us the break. And there's your first presented fair value gap in that leg. Change that to aqua. Nah, still nothing. Has not broken the range. Looks like it's itching to go down, obviously, but we don't make a move until it actually gives us a proper break. US 30 digging deeper into that blue zone. And that was our target. You know, again, sometimes it happens. It leaves without you. That's fine. As mentioned before, it's just that kind of a week too. Just going to quickly jump over to the calendar here. So tomorrow, FOMC meeting minutes. Fed Chair Powell speaks on Thursday. And then non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. Friday is just a complete mess. I'd say take the rest of the week off. On weeks like that, you want to trade Monday, Tuesday, and take the rest of the week off to enjoy yourself. There's no point in trying to fish with this kind of a current. So we're getting a bearish confirmation right now on US 30. This could trigger our retracement and then a drop. US 500 now suddenly becomes more interesting to us. There's your low-hanging fruit target. I want to see if it gives us a double break on the 1 minute. So just patiently waiting. That's why you wait. 12 seconds left. Our bearish confirmation has not stuck on US 30. Let's see if we get that double break from US 500. Just remember, that's our low-hanging fruit target right here. Let's hope it doesn't, the same thing doesn't happen. That happened with US 30 where it just took off without us. 10 seconds left. I want to see this fair value gap stay open. This will become our shallow retracement. .35 seconds left. And again, could just be that kind of day, but I'm looking for an entry here. Change that to red. This is my shallow retracement. This is my deep retracement. Let's see which one it goes to first. Unless it runs off without us, again, that's fine too. There's the targets, low-hanging fruit, and then there's their London lows. But I want to see if it gives us this entry. Meanwhile, NAS slowly working its way down to the new day opening gap and in the process of giving us a bearish confirmation, even though we have not broken the range. I'm going to get this fair value gap out of the way. That was a 15-minute fair value gap. We've just dropped below 50%. premium and discount. So we're below equilibrium. So here's our fair value gap. I want to see the market come back into here, give us expansion met with expansion. And then again, those are the low-hanging fruit targets to the downside. With the NWOG, new week opening gap, and previous day's low even further down. There's no other 4-hour fair value gaps below us. US 30 has not given us anything yet. NAS, now that we have this bearish confirmation, or hopefully we do in the next 1 minute 57 seconds, if it sticks, we'll get a retracement and then a push back down. But I'm not interested in NAS. It has not broken the range yet. US 500 is the only one I'm interested in now. And as mentioned before, not too much room between where we're at and the low-hanging fruit target. No real 1 to 3 here. Still looking for that entry, but just marking it up. It looks something like that, possibly a 3, but again, everything has to be right. I still want to see another 1 minute fair value gap created. Remember, hit a fair value gap, create a fair value gap. "15 seconds left. Looks like this bearish confirmation is going to stick. There's your new day opening gap, but I'm not interested in NAS. NAS not giving me a break. Not enough confluence there. US 500 is the only one that's given us everything. "48 seconds left. I want to see this fair value gap stay open, or at least this volume imbalance. One of these two. There's two. We'll paint the whole thing out if it leaves it open. Or I could do that and just close everything off. That's why you wait. We're right into that fair value gap now. Let's see if we turn around here, if it goes in for that deeper retracement. Expansion met with expansion. That's what we want to see. Let's see if it closes and engulfs this candle. 24 seconds left. Three seconds. Not quite an engulfing candle, so we're going to wait for a 1 minute fair value gap to be created. And hope it doesn't run off without us. Because remember, it could still retrace all the way up here, take this high out, hit this fair value gap. That's why we want to proceed with caution. $30 left. So it's closed off. Let's see if it could still leave us a volume imbalance here. Okay, this looks like it could be giving us fair value gap on the next one. It's a nice push down. Still gotta wait. Ten seconds left. Again, closed off any chance for a fair value gap. Could still shoot down from here, but might be doing the same thing it did with US 30, where it just gave us slow candles and then just left all these fair value gaps and hit the target, left without us. Just got to be prepared for that. Not too much room between our low-hanging fruit targets and where price is sitting. So, as mentioned before, I would have liked to get it up here, but still no fair value gap created. I'm almost hoping for that deeper retracement back into this fair value gap right here. That at least give us some room, but let's see. We'll still call it play by play. So we won't be live tomorrow and Thursday just because of this week. Recommend you just take the week off, the rest of the week after today. Anytime it creates or begins to create a fair value gap, it closes it off. So we do have this volume imbalance that it left. I don't like using volume imbalances as my rejection points, but we're just going to mark this out just to see. Digging in even deeper now. Seven seconds left. So we got a double break here and a double break here. The only thing is we're sitting at true day open. That's why the low-hanging fruit targets have been set. There's not too much push to the downside right now. "34 seconds left. This could be giving us that fair value gap we were looking for. "13 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now this becomes our area of interest. So I want to see it come back, tap this. Otherwise it could just run off without us. So it's already created a second. If this creates a secondary fair value gap here, it's most likely just going to drop. And get rid of this. Okay, beautiful. It didn't create the second fair value gap, so it's coming back up into here. Now on a 30-second, I want to see the same thing. I want to see it hit it. This is why they call it fractal effects. What's happening on a higher time frame is happening on a smaller time frame, all the way down. 30 seconds. I want to see it hit that fair value gap and give me an immediate rebalance and then a 30-second fair value gap. I do want to see it touch it though. Again, not a huge room here, not a huge target. It is what it is though today. It's not a trade setup I'd personally be interested in, but we're going to walk you guys through it. We always look for that 1 to 3 risk to reward. It's going to be a little under that. There you go, we've hit it. I want to see expansion met with expansion. And I want to see a 30-second fair value gap created and tapped. So expansion met with expansion. Let's see if this is an engulfing candle. Looks like it is. Now I want to see the 30-second fair value gap created off of this. Luckily on the 30-second they come quick. $15 seconds. It's in the process. Did leave a volume imbalance there as well. Mark that for now. $12 seconds. Three, two, one. Needs a little bit of adjustment. But there is your 30-second fair value gap. Now I just want to see the market close under here. And that'll most likely be a push to this zone. Make it green. Change this to orange. $15 seconds left. You can see this red candle didn't close below it. We're hoping this next one does. We could do another push up. Five minutes to 11. I'd like to see this thing just drop off from here. Let's see. Again, I want to see it close below that line. Looks like it's taking one more swipe up. That could be the drop. 13 seconds left. And sometimes that happens where it doesn't close, but there you go. This is why, again, this is not an interesting setup for me because there wasn't enough room for growth. They closed, the closing candle was down here. So that was my low-hanging fruit target. Now I got to go back up to the 1 minute just to see where my London lows are. Yeah, that was my low-hanging fruit target. There's your London lows. New week opening gap. That's why I don't like these small moves, because if that's my low-hanging fruit target, it could just turn around back from here. Why was this my low-hanging fruit target and not London lows? Because this, I'm going to go back up to the 5 minute just to show you guys. Because that was my first presented fair value gap after my double break. And since we never actually fulfilled this London obligation of the double break, I knew the market was going to retrace back to here. Doesn't mean that it can't still take out this double break right into this DSD low, but that's why this was my low-hanging fruit target. Always aim for the area that you know it has to get through in order to go lower. But as mentioned before, we never did meet this London obligation. So there's your London low, there's your DSD low. But that's why that was my low-hanging fruit target. So we'll give this some time, but as soon as London low is swept and this DSD low is hit, we're done. This has been a messy market today. US 30 gave us a double break and now it's just been consolidating right there. NAS never even broke the manipulation range. Gave us a bearish confirmation on the spotlight strategy, sure. But until you get that break, we're not interested. We don't trade this, especially this late in the game. By 11 o'clock, if you have not broken the range, it's not a good sign. Let's just leave it at that. But we have a bearish confirmation here on US 500. There was your break. Another thing to remember, we are watching that on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, we had a double break. That's why I always aim for the closest low-hanging fruit. On the 5 minute, we only have a break. We actually don't have a double break yet. Remember, it's only the double break that's the dealer revealing their hand. But that was just to show you on a fractal level how on the 1 minute, you can still get a double break, still hit a target, and then still have that be the manipulation move on the 5 minute. Starting to push down still. NAS heading down to break the bottom of that manipulation range. So we finally got a break out of NAS. Looks like US 500. It's pushing down to take out London lows. Once the London lows are taken and DST low is hit, we're going to conclude our session there. I'm not interested in looking for anything on NAS right now. There's London. Heading for that DST low. NAS dropping even lower. And we're just going to wait to tap it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, we tapped the DST low. Done. So that was the move. You know, you take what you can get. Low-hanging fruit, London lows. But that goes to show you you can have a double break on a lower time frame and still be successful before the higher time frame, the 5-minute, even gives you anything. And that's the only reason we resorted to that 1 minute today, because we hadn't broken the range. US 30 was the only one that broke the range, and even US 30 on a 1 minute gave us exactly what we were looking for. It just ran off without us. Eventually came back and tapped something here, but we weren't looking at it. So US 500 was the only successful setup. Not really the best. Obviously now it became a 1 to 3 as it dropped lower. But from the point that we were looking at it to our low-hanging fruit target, it was just under 3. Not something I'm overly excited about. But it's just to show you guys how you can patiently find a setup, and as long as all the rules are there and it's matching all the confluence, you can feel comfortable taking it. So we're going to conclude our session there. As mentioned before, we won't be live tomorrow or Thursday just because of all the high impact news drivers. I suggest you stay out of the market as well. We have Fed Chair Powell speaking, and then a lot of heavy news on Friday. So we'll conclude our session. Please check us out on fractaleffects.com, where we teach high probability trading. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification. Please give us a like if you learned something today. And we'll see you guys next week.